then, on which all the members spoke. After that, the diva decreed it. Verse 2, he shall serve 200 years as an apprentice Luiz. A Luiz are angels that are responsible for watching over mortal marriages and controlling the offspring of children to bring about righteous offspring. Now, he shall serve 200 years as an apprentice Luiz. He shall become proficient in the knowledge of procreation of mortals, learning to prophesy what the offspring will be, according to the parentage, to become wise in discerning how the spirit of a living mortal governs the flesh, to good or evil, how the spirit of a mortal controlleth the sex, and ultimate size and health and strength of the offspring. So these are the things you will be beginning to learn in the second resurrection, prophesizing what the offspring of the children would be beforehand. Verse 3, to learn which the Luiz shall take him to thousands of mortals, and he shall make a record of what he hath under observation. And when such mortals have offspring born unto them, he shall make a record thereof, and he shall observe the character of the birth and the foundation of the child, together with what conditions surrounded the mother of the child. And he shall follow that child till it hath grown up, and also married, and begotten a child, or children, and so on to the sixth generation. And this was the 28th divine law. Verse 4, the diva decreed it. After he hath served 200 years, he shall be examined by his lord, or his lord's deputy, and if proficient in prophesying to the sixth generation, which is 200 years, he shall be entered as an ashar, a guardian angel, on the list of 4 12s for every moon's change. But the 48 ashars, guardian angels, shall not be ashars, guardian angels, to more than 192 mortals, otherwise especially alluded by the Lord or the God of his domain. So for the first 200 years, you will be learning how to become a guardian angel, observing mortals' birth, observing mortal marriages, and watching the offspring of the child as it grows, and as that child becomes an adult and have children, and following that process. And by obtaining this knowledge, you will become proficient and will be able to prophesy prior to the birth of the child, or particular children, or a nation of people. And this is how you will be able to tell beforehand if the people would rise or fall based off these lessons of guardianship. Now, verse 5, for 4 generations of 133 years shall he serve as an Ashar, guardian angel, and he shall learn to have dominion over his immortal protege night and day, not suffering them, however, to know his presence, to accomplish which he shall begin with his proteges in their first infancy, remaining with them while they sleep, talking to the spirit of the mortal, teaching and persuading. This was the 29th divine law. And this verse said something interesting. It said how the angels can be present without your knowing. So there's angels always around you. Verse 6, the diva decreed it. Having served as Ashar, guardian angel, the full term of Ashar, he shall be entitled to examination by his lord or deputy. But herein beginneth a new examination, which is that the examination pertaineth to his protege, as to what kind of fruit he hath sent to heaven, the grade of his Esaians, newborn spirit, being the standard. This was the 30th divine law. Verse 7, the diva decreed it. Having passed the examination as Ashar, guardian angel, he shall now be promoted as Asaph. Now, Asaphs are angels who receive the newborn spirits in heaven. Just as the guardian angels watch over mortals while alive, the Asaphs receives the newborn spirits of mortals who has recently passed on or died. Now, having passed the examination as Ashar, guardian angel, he shall now be promoted as Asaph, where he shall serve 66 years. Here again, his examination shall be not of himself, but of the harvest of his department. This was the 31st divine law. Verse 8, the diva decreed it. His examination being complete, he shall now receive emancipation of all preceding departments and decrees, and he shall have his choice in all places he hath passed, unless otherwise specially detailed by his Lord or God of his division. This was the 32nd divine law. Verse 9, the diva decreed it. He shall now be entitled to enter the chapter of the primary soul. His first lesson shall be in colors and sounds, both of corpor, which is physical, and spirit. First beginning with gray of not more than 3 combinations. And when he hath mastered these, he shall have 4, then 5, then 10, then 100, and so on, until when any combination of colors is placed before him, he can instantly perceive every color, shade, tint, and the velocity of light and its force emanating. And he shall pursue this study until he can create in spirit the counterpart of anything in corpor, or in the material world, or create in corpor the counterpart of anything in spirit. And of sounds he shall proceed in the same way, first learning a combination of 3, so that when his teacher produces any 3 sounds together, he can hear them and determine the exact velocity of wave. Then he shall begin with 4 sounds or notes, then 5, then 10, then 100, and even 1,000, the which, even though made in the same instant, he shall detect every one and the velocity and force of each. This was the 33rd divine law. So here you can see this divine law begins the chapter of the primary of soul. Now, verse 10, the Diva decreed it. He shall now begin the practice of combining and creating color by sounds and sounds by colors, both in corpor and in spirit. His teacher shall make explosions with light and explosions without light, and by his eyes and ears only shall he be able to determine with what elements the explosions were made. This was the 34th divine law. Verse 11, the Diva decreed it. He shall go far away from the explosions, and when the waves come to him, even though he heareth not the explosion, he shall be able to determine by the waves of what substance the explosion was made, and whether in light or in darkness. And if in light, what colors were manifested. This was the 35th divine law. So here is showing you the depths and the advancement and intelligence that these angels in the second resurrection are learning. These are the same lessons we will be learning when we enter these realms after this physical death. So you have angels out there in the second heaven that are able to hear explosions without the sound and are able to read by just the wave what type of substance was used for the explosion and things of that nature. Now, verse 12, the Diva decreed it. He shall now receive instructions in the sounds of conversation. First, his teacher shall cause him to hear 2 people conversating at the same time, missing nothing that is said. Then 3, then 4, then 5, then 10, then 100, and then 1,000. But no greater number in this department. This was the 36th divine law. So in the 36th divine law, when you become master of that law, you will be able to hear up to 1,000 people conversating and will be able to understand them clearly. Verse 13, the Diva decreed it. He shall now analyze the waves of voices, wherein he cannot hear the sounds thereof. His teacher shall station him in a certain place and cause him to read the waves of light and sound that come to him, so that he knoweth not only the word spoken, but the kind of person speaking or singing. This was the 37th divine law. Verse 14, the Diva decreed it. His teacher shall now cause him to read the waves of light and sound emanating from 2 persons talking at the same time, when he cannot hear, and he shall understand not only the word spoken, but the kind of person speaking. Then he shall read the waves in the same way for 3 persons, then 4, then 8, then 100, and even 1,000. This was the 38th divine law. So here is showing you again the intelligence and the advancement of these angels in the second heaven, showing you that they can hear up to 1,000 people conversating and understand them completely. Now, verse 15, the Diva decreed it. Then he shall be taken to a distance from a battlefield where mortals are in deadly conflict, but he shall not be sufficiently near to hear the sounds. But when the waves come to him, he shall read them and know the number of the men in battle, the kind of weapons in use, and the cause of contention. This was the 39th divine law. And here this verse said something interesting. It said, they will know the number of men in battle. So just as America, when it sent its troops over to the east, When they say, all right, we're going to deploy 10,000 troops to the east, these angels have a knowledge of these things in the realm of where they're at by the waves coming up, rippling through the atmosphere. And they are able to determine by the waves from what we are saying down here on earth, and they can determine what's going on, showing you again the intelligence of these angels in the second heaven. Now, verse 16, the diva decreed it. He shall now be promoted to be a messenger between lords and between lords and gods. This was the 40th divine law. Verse 17, the diva decreed it. For 100 years he shall serve as messenger, and at the end of that time his lords and gods shall render his record and promote him to be marshal. And thereupon the emancipation of all the preceding decrees and departments shall be open to him, to choose whatsoever he will, except on such time and occasions as especially required by his Lord or God. This was the 41st divine law. Verse 18, the diva decreed it. For 200 years he shall serve as marshal, and under as many as 40 lords and gods, and in as many as 20 heavenly kingdoms. This was the 42nd divine law. Verse 19, the diva decreed it. He shall now be promoted Lord, and have dominion over a city or a nation of mortals, and over the spirits belonging to that city or nation. This was the 43rd divine law. So you can see that the 43rd divine law is when you become a Lord. And to be titled as Lord, you would have to have the mastery of all the lessons you have passed through. Now, Book of Divinity, chapter 5, verse 1, it states, God propounded, if a man die and be not a faithist, what then? All the members spoke. Now, this is going into a person or a nation of people who do not have faith in the Creator, but may have faith in their false God, like your Jesus, your Allah, your Buddha, or whatever deities you may have created. You may call on Osiris as your creator, or Amun. We don't look at Jehovah as a deity. We look at him as the omnipotent creator, the incomprehensible, no beginning, no end, as described in Oahspe. So I'm not going to classify Jehovah in that category, although many will because they don't have the understanding of what I'm talking about. They have the understanding of Jehovah coming from the false God's perspective through the wars against Jehovah in the past ages. But I covered those things already for my followers. For you newcomers, y'all probably don't know what's going on. But for the record, those who do not accept the Creator and accept their false gods as creators, these are the lessons for them. They would only obtain to the second resurrection after death. They will not rise higher than the second heaven. That's their limitation for those who do not acknowledge the Creator. Now, verse 1 again. God propounded, if a man die and be not a faithist, what then? All the members spoke, and then, verse 2, the diva decreed it. Inasmuch as he accepts not the faithist law while mortal, he is unsuitable to the highest exalted place of the light. For all official preference shall be to the faithist. This was the 44th divine law. So the verse is basically saying that the all highest places are for those who have faith in the Creator. If you don't have faith in the Creator, you will be subjected to the first and second and the earth, and no higher than that. That's why all the false God, they fall from the second heaven. Now, verse 3, the diva decreed it of the same spirit, who not being a faithist, his education shall not run to the Lordhead, nor to the Godhead. He shall not be a column in the Father's building, nor of the arches stones, nor of the arch stones of the great strength, but he shall stand as a plain brick in the wall. Verse 4, the diva said, I am not created God to merely serve my time, and there an end. I am to look far ahead as to who shall.
All right. I'm glad. Man, I'm glad. I am so glad. I'm so glad I'm a faithist, man. I am so glad I don't know what to do. I haven't been this happy probably all my life. All right, brethren, look at you in the room already. Thank you, brethren, for blessing my soul. Asaph, Nazarene, Assim, Fetals, Asnap, and of course, Brother Dave. And Asaph and Brother Dave, if y'all think y'all getting away from me, you got another thing coming, man. I think I'm going to move next to y'all, wherever y'all at, so I can take advantage of y'all's learning. You brethren, and when I say brethren, I mean sisters and brothers, Asnap, so I don't want to offend you. But I just want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all so much, man. I mean, truly, I do. I appreciate you, brethren, so much, man, for things that you, brethren, that the wisdom that you can impart, that you can give, and you really glorify the Creator God to me. And I really appreciate you, brethren, because I think that I don't even know how to describe it. I think that above all people and any other brethren and sisters who are faithists and who are serious and for real, I just think you brethren are miracles, man. I mean, truly for real. I look up to any brother or sister. I mean, I look at you with wonder because the darkness that we're under, it is so thick. I just cannot believe it that we have this opportunity to receive the light, this light, because really from here on out, it just gets better. Even while we're here in this corporal reality, for us and our brethren, it just gets better and better and better and better. Every time I open up the Oahspe, it just keeps telling me, hey, it gets better and better and better and better and better and better and better. So, brethren, thank you for joining me. I'm going to go into the routine, and I'm going to try to get through it kind of fast so I want to make this room, I want to make it really yours. I want it to be a place of learning, and I want it to be interactive. I want it to be really, really interactive. If nobody has anything you want to share or what you want to say, then I'm going to go into the reading, but I'm going to always turn it over if somebody wants to give some overstanding on something I read or something I say. I just want to do it in hopes of getting brethren to come together. Let's have a lot of fun talking about these things. We should be able to see the reality where we are living, that the creator is fast showing us. Oh, you know what? Is the audio okay? Can somebody type a one if the audio is okay? Is the audio okay? Audio? Type one if the audio is okay. Get that straightened out right away. All right. Thanks, Nazarene. Assim Fetals. Thank you. Thanks, brother. Thanks, Dave. All right. Last couple of videos, I went for a whole hour, man. Come to find out, I was on mute. So anyway, like I normally do in my videos, I want to acknowledge the angels of the rising, not the morning, but the rising, and the angels of the evening found in this book right here. And recently, brother Cal taught me a lesson about when the Sabbath is, and I think I was on that schedule a long time ago, and then I stopped because I think I convinced myself that Friday, Saturday is easier, and just look at that as the this weekly Sabbath. And the brother taught me that the first 7 days after the new moon, the seventh day is the Sabbath, and after the new moon, and then you get your weekly Sabbath after that. And so I subscribe to that. I don't think that I should be doing things just for the sake of convenience. I think that I should try to stay faithful to what truth I learned, even though it's unpopular. I should try to not make any allowances, but try as best I can to stay faithful to what I am learning. I really think that I should do that. So forgive me if you look at the Sabbath one day and I'm sharing another day, and I just think that what we feel, what we should just receive what it is that we can receive. So anyway, now I'm changing. The order is probably not going to sound right with my new understanding. So I just pray that you just bear with me. I'm operating on what I believe is the truth. So anyway, here we have the Essing Gospel Peace, where we can learn about the angels of the rising, angels of the evening, Essing Gospel Peace, teachings of the elect, book 4. And so today being Saturday rising, Saturday rising, that would be the angel of air. That would be the angel of air, really. Let me see. Now I got to think, because this new schedule's, I got to think. Would that be the angel of air? No, it would be the angel of water, because air is tomorrow, because Sabbath is Sunday evening, Monday evening. Okay, yeah, angel of water. So it says on the sixth rising after Sabbath, say these words. But we're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Angel water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. Again, 1, 2, 3. Angel water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. Again, 1, 2, 3. Angel water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. And then we read, and you will feel like the rushing current of the river. The power of the angel of water enter your body, and like the rivulets of a stream, send the power of the earthly mother through your blood to all parts of your body, and it shall be for healing. For the power of the angel of water is very great, and when you speak to her, she will send her power wherever you command. For when the angels of God dwell within the Son of Man, are all things possible. And so that would mean this evening is going to be the angel of wisdom. Angel of wisdom for this evening, where it says that on the sixth rise evening, after Sabbath, say these words. So we're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3. Angel of wisdom, descend on me and fill with wisdom all my thoughts. Again. 1, 2, 3. Angel of wisdom, descend on me and fill with wisdom all my thoughts. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Angel of wisdom, descend on me and fill with wisdom all my thoughts. And then we read, know, sons of light, that your thoughts are as powerful as the bolt of lightning that stabs through the storm and splits asunder the mighty tree. It was for this that you have waited 7 years to learn to speak with the angels, for you know not the power of your thoughts. Use then wisdom in all you think, say, and do. For I tell you truly, that which is done without wisdom is as a riderless horse, mouth foaming and eyes wild, running crazed into a yawning chasm. But when the angel of wisdom governs your deeds, then it is the path to the unknown realms established. Then is the path to the unknown realms established, and order and harmony govern your lives. All right. So those are the angels of rising and evening. So I have a ministry where I would like to be called upon if someone knows of a brother or sister. Now, especially with children, man, and there's someone knows of a situation where food charity is needed. I mean, they don't even have to know where it comes from, or about trying to thank me, or it's more important. I mean, incognito. is fine with me. It's just so that the situation gets dealt with without anybody trying to take credit or anything, but just so that the situation gets dealt with. If any brethren, you listen to this video and you know somebody, I can be contacted. There's my email information. You can send me email and just say food ministry in the subject line. Give me some way to contact somebody that can tell me how to send the items. Send the items. Now, I will not buy meat for anyone because I believe that the Creator, His will is that we do not partake of flesh. So just let me know and I'll discuss that with whoever gets in contact with me. And I, for one, would really appreciate it. And then I have a room, Facebook, where other faiths, you come in, you can, to me, I believe there's an ability for us to redeem the time, to store up. And that's all that the room is for. It's just so you can come in, you can drop a word, you can give a word, and that way do something and then build yourself a little mountain. Build yourself a little mountain, and to for the Ashars to record of how you spent your energies while you were here on Earth. That does make a difference. I just got finished listening to that on the brother's video that I was playing before I went on the live. So I believe that any little thing, man, and when you're talking about the faith anyway, man, me, I'm just the type of brother that I don't know how to say it, but spirituality has always been part of my life. And I'm just scrolling to show you some things that I like to share in my room. Try to whet your appetite to want to join and participate. And I've always, I think for the last 13, 14 years, I really began to hit my stride spiritually, meaning get on that path and be serious, really be serious. And so I like to do things like this, have ministries. I mean, I get it when you're talking about the Creator. I get it, man, where he he wants his will basically, even when I was under deception, worshiping Jesus Christ as the Creator God is what I mean. I still got it, man, that, we should love one another. Meaning we should try not to get in other brethren's way, man. Life is hard enough as it is. And we should try to figure out a way, man, to help our brethren, be on their side, stop finding opportunities to dominate your brother, to school, always wanting to school your brother, and, just why don't you just lend a helping hand and just, get on his side and get on each other's side. That's the will of the Father. I mean, it don't seem, you know, it's not hard for me to see that that's the will of the Creator, man. I mean, I tell you, man, mankind he really trips me out the way he's in love with himself. He's got to have power and control over his brethren. He's got to be on top. So, anyway, if I'm scrolling and I'm going too fast for you, just stop the screen and you can check out what I'm trying to show on the screen. So, anyway, I also, when I do my lives, I like to talk about the metaphysical word a little bit. And it's a different type of word, the metaphysical meaning of things. And, let me digress for a second. Have you brethren heard about this? The attack on Russia. Has anyone heard of that? The mall, the shooting, where, oh, shoot, I forgot to share the screen. Man, see, that's the thing. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Let me go back up and show what I thought I was sharing. Go back up here. There's the food ministry information and some of the things that my room where I try to have brethren get together, have some fellowship, just get together and redeem the time. And I just want to show some of the things that I post in the room so you can get the flavor of what goes on in it. Basically, just to share. You might say something changed some brother's life. So I was busy talking. I thought I was scrolling and forgot to share the screen. I'm still kind of trying to learn this new software, StreamYard. So let me go kind of fast because I missed a lot of time on not knowing what screen I was sharing. And so there was an event over in Russia, man. Did y'all hear about that? I mean, there was a mass shooting over there. Some dudes they just picked up and they went to a mall and just started capping everybody. Over 100 people died. Russia's pissed off. Now, right after that, I heard that Israel might be involved. We're waiting to find out. They're doing an investigation. And I say that because I was researching it, and I saw where this guy, he made a statement against Russia about they were pissed off at Russia because when October 7th happened, that was when hostilities began between Israel and Hamas. Then they came out and said Russia should have supported them more than they did, if at all. And they said that Russia was going to pay the price. Some dude, matter of fact, I can probably find him because I was looking for him. I was looking for him to check his quotes. I might not be able to find it. I know I'm not on the right screen. I'm trying to see if I can find this guy first. And let me see. I don't see him. Well, let me see. Well, you can just take my word for it. There was some Israeli guy, and he said that Russia's going to pay a price for this. And that was in October. Now, this thing happens. Now, if Russia decrees, if they determine that Israel is involved, we got some serious problems. I mean, already they got a strained relationship going on, and we're getting closer and closer to April 8th, and things are really beginning to look like that date is going to produce some type of problem. It could be the end of something and the beginning of another, or it could show some event on Earth and hostilities. And I think for Fetals, I've been listening to some Fetals give their best understanding on what they think is going to happen. And the confluence of opinions seem to lead me to think that the creator, that there could be some type of intervention, or some type of transporting, some type of miraculous removal. I don't know, I could be wrong. Some type of energy change which will cause us to be able to deal with the situation spiritually. I don't know. I can't say for sure. I've been trying to find in the Oahspe how we might be dealt with, but I can't really come up with anything solid right now. So anyway, just some things that my room, you know. So let me go into the room now and see if what's going on in the room real quick. Okay, brethren, again, thank you, man. Thank you for joining me. It's on my desire to have a discussion. If you brethren are willing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to. Oh, you didn't hear about that, Nazarene? Fetals. Yeah, it's a serious situation over there. I mean, it is serious, man. Right now, Russia thinks that Ukraine orchestrated that terrorist attack. Ukraine thinks that Russia orchestrated it. And there's more coming out about the statements that Israel said because of the lack of support that they got from Russia when hostilities began on October 7th with Hamas. So I don't know. I think Russia is probably. I tend to think that they looking at that, looking into it, and I think the truth is going to come out. I think they really know more than they're letting on. But if the regular mainstream can see how Israel could be involved and they don't know, I mean, I don't see how that would be possible. But we're gonna, this the confluence of events, man, is pretty. I mean, it's pretty serious what's going on in our reality. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to the name of the video is group discussion, and it was the subject matter I was going to offer is fetals. On fetals, I pulled up a word study on fetals, and the objective is just to get a conversation started. That's my whole objective, just get a conversation started on this subject or anything else that you brethren deem is a better thing to talk about, or if you just have anything you want to share, want to go out on video, then you're all, you're more than welcome, man. I'm looking at the screen right now, but when you brethren come into the studio, it's going to give me a sound. So I can know that to add you to the channel. So if you brethren just want to be, oh, you know what? Let me do the link. So the link can be in the room. And whenever you brethren decide, you can click on the link, come in. If you feel like you want to share something, then by all means, man, be my guest. But yeah, Nazarene, it's something, I mean, I remember when I was a Christian, I used to hear prophecies about Russia doing something, going to Israel. And when I heard about that attack, man, I said, man, it just goes right along with the prophecies that I used to hear about when I was in Christianity about what people used to say. And I never really knew for sure, but it's pretty ominous what's going on now, So, okay, Dave is saying something here. Hamas could have done that mall shooting, and is attempting to blame Israel. That's very possible, bro. So you heard about that? Yeah. At that level, nations play games, man, to implicate somebody for the purpose of beginning hostilities with them. And, I can see when looking at Israel's history, I mean, they have played the United States like what is the saying? A cheap banjo. They have played the United States. The history of that little nation, man. Oh, the post about the mall attack. I'm talking to you, Dave. The things that are you talking about that TikTok video I did? A TikTok video I did where I was talking about Israel. I don't know what it is you're referring to when you say you saw that on my page, but the things that nation has done to us it's an amazing thing. How if you learn to buy off a government if you just learn to do that, then you're home free. So far as your agenda, and that's what they done. They bought off the legislators, the presidents, and they're home free. Anytime they need their boyfriend to step in and deal with somebody, they just call us and we go running. Send them a little money. You need money here because they know that they're going to send it back. It's going to go into politicians' pockets. It's the perfect system, man. And we sit here and it seems like we're just perpetually ignorant. It's an amazing thing, man. But anyway, that's the world. I'm not into the world, but I want to find myself wanting to know what our immediate future holds for us. So let me see. Let me put the link up there so that you, brethren, if you want, you can come in and I'd be more than happy to hear anything y'all got to say. Anything you want to bring up, Elijah, Nazarene, y'all want to come in, share something, testimony, word. I'm going to begin to start reading. And then if you, brethren, get an idea or you want the mic, click on the link, come in the room, and we're going to have fun, fun, fun. Now, before I begin, I found something in the Oahspe that it might get your attention. I found something in the Oahspe. Now, when I first found out, when I first came into the knowledge of the Oahspe, one thing I immediately I picked up on deity worship. Okay. And man, I was good to go then. I was good to go, meaning I saw the deception and it set me on fire to get busy letting brethren know of deity worship, and how that deity worship was what the religions of the world were going into. And then as I began to read the Oahspe, I found out it confirmed that it confirmed my suspicions about the major religions of the world. Now, I found something in the Oahspe here in chapter 2 that really it sometimes you get hit with regret, man, when you feel like you were wrong about something. Now look what I found in the Oahspe. I hope y'all can see the screen okay. Something I seen in the Oahspe that I didn't even know was here before. I never knew it was here. Now it talks about the other religions. The part that I had read in the Oahspe is how it refers to false Christians, false Buddhas, false Mohammedans, and how they worship a man. And then I come to see here, I'm looking for it right now, where the Creator seems to say he doesn't seem to condemn them. Now, I know that I'm missing something, and I expect anybody to come in and straighten me out about the flavor of the verse. If I could find it, I'm looking for it. Bear with me, okay? I get these verses and then I click off of them because I get to reading and So let me find it. It's in this book right here, Ornathor. Before I start doing the reading on fetalism, bear with me 1 second, okay? Let me find it. I started reading this last night, and let me see. What he was saying basically is that it sounded like he doesn't condemn them, the other religions, because he uses them to bring his children closer. Just bear with me. I'm okay. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Now, this is the verse in particular that I'm talking about. It says, whether you say Brahma, Brahma, or Buddha, or Christ, or Allah, doing so in reverence to the Almighty, our Creator, practicing good works with all your wisdom and strength, even so do I proclaim your good deeds in heaven. So somebody straighten me out if you want to, but I think it's saying that you could be either of these things, if you're out of the goodness of your heart and sincerity and truth, worshiping these things, that it's no thing with the Creator. Now I know I'm probably wrong. But it seems like that's what it's saying to me. It says I think, let me see now, who's talking here? This is a God, I believe. These are the words of Oranotham. Oranotham. And Oranotham, it means light from heaven. And the footnote says Oranothan means comprehensive light from the atmospheric heavens of the earth, or as we might say, from the throne of God, or is spoken through God, or light from God, or light of heaven is spoken by God. So a righteous God. And he's saying, what do you say? Now, I'm just, if any of you brethren have thoughts on this, by all means, click on the link, come in the room, and tell me what you feel, what you think. Now, I have been harping on these religions, and I believe I've been given the impression that if you're under it, you're under deity worship. But here, it's like the Oahspe is giving you like another flavor to the major religions. Is saying whether you say Brahma, Brahma, or Buddha, Buddha. But another, it helps ease my mind a little bit because I believe that there's good brethren in these religions. I mean, really, man, it kind of eases my mind a little bit. Okay, somebody's in. It kind of eases my mind a little bit to see that I don't have to be as hard on these religions as I have been. Dave, good to see you, brother. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing fine there, brother.
Good to hear you, brother. Good to hear you.
Okay, in your verse that you have up there from Oranathan, says 13:1-4. Whether you say Brahma, Brahma, or Buddha, Buddha, or Christ, Christ, or Allah, Allah, doing so in reverence to the Almighty, our Creator, practicing good works with all your wisdom and all your strength, even so do I proclaim your good deeds in heaven. So what it's basically saying is, whether you say Brahma, Brahma, but referencing the creator of all, and knowing the creator is not a man sitting on a throne somewhere up in the sky, then you're doing creator's will, even unknowingly. So that's why there's no condemnation there, because you're actually following creator. But creator has many names. Buddha, right, means all knowledge. Christ means all knowledge. Allah, all knowledge. Brahma, all knowledge. You see? And when they say all knowledge and realize that it's the creator, and know it's the creator, and practice what they're preaching, then that's fine with creator, because they are actually worshiping creator under whichever name they're using. Being creator, Jehovah, Eoah, Chichimenatu, Egoquim, many names, but all one creator.
I see. Now, what about, like, to give you an example, Mohammedans, and they believe in honor killings? I mean, they're sincere, they're devout, but what do you say to them?
Well, those that go chopping off people's heads and whatever, now you know that they're not following Creator, because Creator says, do not kill.
Exactly.
So that's how you tell the difference between those who are really for Creator and doing Creator's will, and those are following the false God. Uh, God Gabriel Thoth, who calls himself Allah, who raised up Muhammad. You understand that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me. That's why my mind is when I start talking about the creator, man, the first thing, even when I was into Christianity and the first thing and Hebrew Israelite, in order to try to protect myself, the first thing I would do is try to look at the character. What is the character? And even in the different religions, they have the same consensus. You know, the the heavenly Father, the Creator, God, they use similar characteristics, love, peace. People say that, and no matter what circle you run in, peace, love, blessing, these types of things. That's the character. And so that's the foundation that I let myself build. And to try to protect myself from these extreme doctrines. Like I honestly saw with my own eyesight, I saw, matter of fact, 3 times where a Hebrew Israelite was asked, would you kill your child? I still can't believe it. And they said, if God told me so, yeah. And so they would kill their child. And so when the Oahspe came along, that's one thing that really it shocked my world. And to see that difference between creator and the gods of the Bible. So looking at the character of the Heavenly Father, really, it made it easy for me to get to this time where you can't see where the creator is about any type of murdering and killing and violence, and you just can't find it, man. I mean, he may allow it, like the flood, in order to bring the people back, to restore them, to redeem them. But all right, brother, thanks, man. Thanks for that. I saw this last night. And in verse 5, it says, for all these saviors, gods, religions, are the Father's buildings to bring his children unto the ultimate resurrection for joy and glory within his kingdoms. So it sounds like he's saying that he uses them, you know what I mean, to bring them to from wherever they are in their overstanding, to still bring them to himself. But within each of these religions, there's some extremism, and I think that those are brethren who come into to captivity to false god. Let me see. Asenath, she's saying some things. She says these planets all have a purpose. 15, and let them be for lights. Okay, I think she's talking about April 8th. And then let's see. This is about the Most High. Oh, the verse you posted, Psalms 82. This is about the Most High signing his sons over man, but they didn't take care of us. Okay, like we were talking yesterday. Yeah, that was a good point, man. The thing that you brethren are really helping me with is teaching me how to learn how to read, really. I mean, listening to Cal the other day talk about um, the difference. between the fallen gods and the creator's gods, and the differences between how they receive. I think he was saying, or I was listening to somebody say that one of the things they do is they receive worship. They receive worship. They require sacrifice, flesh, and there was a couple other things I can't remember right now. But I'm gonna go ahead with the. I'm gonna start doing bringing up some verses on fetalism. I I have a word study up on fetalism, and I'd like for you, brethren, to comment. I'm just going to go through different verses, and then I'm going to just give my overstanding on it. And if you, brethren, want, jump in and let me, something came to my mind too, man. I was playing a video before I went on live, Brother C-Live's video. I don't know if y'all saw that, but y'all had to check it out. You probably already know everything that he's going to say in the video, but it taught me. I mean, talking about the first resurrection, second resurrection, and what we have to go, what we will go. If I understand it correctly, he was saying that for Fetals, we start when we cross over, we start on a path of learning. Path to learning that just blows my mind, man. Do you know it blows my mind, man? He was talking about he was running down the order in his video. And let me see, what was it? It was the first resurrection. It wasn't even the second resurrection. And he said that we have to be taken care of. The first, like we cross over, we get assigned to the ASAP, and then he assigns us a place, and we stay there for 2 years. We're taken care of. And then we become an apprentice, I guess, to just get our feet wet in the spiritual kingdom. And then we become a craftsman, and we got to learn how to be a craftsman and whatever vocation that we were created for, we start to learn how to become a craftsman. And I could be wrong. You brother jump in if I'm mistaken. We got to become a nurse's assistant, an assistant to the physician. And we got to do these for years, man. This is just the first resurrection. I think the source material is the Book of Divinity. It talks about these things. We got to be a nurse's assistant to the physician. No, a nurse assistant, and then an assistant to the physician. And then we got to be a nurse for 10 years. It says we got to be an assistant to the physician for 18 years. These things we got to do for years, man. Totaling like what, 350 years? These things, these vocations that we have to learn. A nurse for 10 years. We have to, and then graduate to a physician for 50 years. An interfactor for 12 years. It's like somebody who goes and gathers food for themselves and for others. A creative apprentice, he said, for 20 or 30 years. Dwell in Uz. I thought that was fascinating, man. We have to dwell in Uz for 12 years. We have to dwell in the, let me see, what is Uz? That's, just jump in, Dave, if you want to. Uz is like what? It's like unformed. It's like that which is unseen, I think. That which is without corporality, I think. Uz. I know that it's identified with darkness.
Us dissipating.
Huh?
Us dissipating. Creating.
Yeah.
And dissipating.
Yeah, disillusion.
We touched on that a couple of sessions back on divinity. I think you asked about that at one time, and I think I answered you a little bit on it. But you see, Creator led you right to Sealer's video on that, and I've seen that more than once.
Yeah, I thought it was, man, he listed, I mean, the book of divinity, it talks about the process and after we leave this mortality, and it's a bunch of learning, man. And the type of learning that it talks about is like out of this world. Well, yeah, it's out of this world, man. It's like, they were, it talked about how the lords, they have to be able to deal with colors, and vibrations. And the higher you go, it just gets more surreal. The things you learn, having to, learning how to travel, build spaceships, you know, listen to 1,000 people and understand what everybody is saying, learning what's going on by the force of waves. And it's like, that's just the first resurrection, man, you know? And up till now, I believe that the first resurrection was like you just barely made it. You 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 now are just a believer, but it's way more than that. And the second resurrection is like where you put things to practice, but the second resurrection also is like the final abode for people who are under the religions because their gods can't resurrect any higher in their overstanding.
uh,
Whereas faithists can go on. Yeah, go ahead.
uh, the second resurrection, what we're doing is we're working in concert with with
Yeah.
God and His lords, and helping people, wherever they are, whether we are transporting food, or being a nurse's assistant or a physician's assistant, or making craft to visit, different lords and gods on the surface of the planet. Now you'll notice that all the false gods are they're not in the second resurrection whatsoever because they don't believe in creator; they believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when the times of IG and GA come, their kingdoms are actually driven lower to the earth
Mm.
than what they're supposed to be. And then sometimes they just crash right into the earth, and that really sets up a havoc within their kingdoms,
Mm.
as happened to the false god Ahura Mazda,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you see.
So Dave, let
Now,
me see.
as far uh, as reading the thoughts of thousands of people, uh, the Ethereal goddess, or maybe Nirvanian goddess, uh, Capenta Armage, she
Yeah.
was up in Etheria there and reading this whole world,
Mm.
and everyone in it, in their own language and understanding. And some that she said she couldn't help, those that were under control of false gods and working for themselves and praying for money and land and power over somebody else. And she said, "Nah, can't hurt, can't help them." But when she heard the faithist, well, I'm striving, but I'm not going to blame Creator. I'm just going to go Creator's way and do whatever Creator says. She said,
Mm.
now those I can help, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I recall reading that. Yeah. So there's like, I mean, there's like, are you saying that there's like a first and second resurrection for the other than Fetals? I mean, is there a first and second resurrection for Fetals, and then a first? Because when I say Fetals, it's not only just first and second resurrection. From what I understand, there's a third resurrection for them, and the
Yeah,
ethereal. And
in fact, Brother Malachi just did a video on that I watched before I came here, and he was talking about the third resurrection. It's where we become brides and bridegrooms of Creator, and off we go to Etheria.
Now, you know what? I thought that up till now, I thought that only the angels or lords could be brides and bridegrooms. I thought that that only applied to angels and lords to be brides for Ethereans.
No, once we reach a certain stage, once we have all our training here on Earth, then we become brides and bridegrooms of Creator. Because there's nothing more that we can do on the Earth, and we need to ascend higher to get more learning to become gods and goddesses. I think I dropped a little information on that from where I put in from Apollo. He was an Earth boy.
Yeah.
Right, and you see, then he after his death is learning on Earth from the continent of Pan, I believe he was from. He went up and then he became chief over 3 worlds in Etheria before he came back to Earth to become the god of that Dan Ha.
So
and he wasn't here that long. He was here for a little while. Got people to raise up. Taught his successors how to raise him up, and then boom, he went back to Etheria doing his thing on his administering to his 3 worlds.
Asenath has a question for you, Dave. I'll put it on the screen.
Okay. Honor and humility, STL. That's what he goes under. Honor and humility, STL.
What do you remember from that video that stuck out?
Well, he was. I think he went through the whole chapter of Sethantes, where we become brides and bridegrooms, and the whole ceremonies, the whole 9 yards. It's quite a long video, probably about 4 or 5 hours.
That's interesting. Asenath asked a question the other day about are we part of the fallen gods?
As Fetals, no, we're not. However, those who follow the fallen gods, right, will end up in their heavens, actually being their slaves. You see.
Yeah, because I was under the impression. Well, I have always thought that there was a difference between angels and mortals. But it's because it seems like, from what I read, forgive me if I'm being redundant, if I'm asking questions you've already answered, but I think I recall reading where only angels could become brides and bridegrooms. I'm going to check out his video, but up till now, I recall reading that angels were the ones who become brides and bridegrooms, not mortals. I'm sitting here thinking that mortals have to go through this process. We cross over, and then we go to university, and we learn all these crafts, and then we're proven proficient, and then we become eligible to become brides and bridegrooms. That's what I thought until now.
Brother, when a mortal dies, he becomes an S being, right?
Oh
He's
yeah,
in
that's right.
spirit.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
S and angel are
Yeah,
synonymous.
yes.
So
Okay,
yes,
an angel is
only
not.
angels can go to Etheria. So we become angels.
So we here on Earth, we're mortals, and we're just learning our where our position will be.
Oh yes,
Would you agree with that statement? Because I read in the Oahspe where we are creating ourselves.
we are. In
Yeah,
Brother Malachi's video, he also put up the rates and the grades of humans and to
yeah,
where you're going to be going after you drop your corporeal body.
that's going to be interesting.
Now, also, we can do this, and we do sometimes when we sleep. We go to different areas in the second resurrection and teach and learn. I know I've done so myself. It's called astral projection.
Yeah, I heard about that. So that's real, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, it is to me, but it may sound like fantasy to some people who can't do it. It takes
Well,
a lot of time to learn it. Let me tell you, I was years learning it.
let me see. Let me answer a question here. My email is Israelite94 at yahoo.com. Hey, Snap. Why don't you come in? Why don't you come on the channel and join us, sis?
Sure, come on in,
Yeah.
sis.
let me put the link in the room anyway. Yeah, I thought that till now that it was only angels who were eligible to be brides and bridegrooms. I mean, because obviously, let me do this. Obviously, we haven't went through the type of training that they've had that we have to go through when we go in the first resurrection, second resurrection. I mean, and plus, just like you just said, we're Essenes when we first began, and I don't. How can Essenes become brides and bridegrooms right away like that? I mean, in other words, I'm trying to say that the Ethereans, I see that they're just the elevated, the top of the top, and that they're brides and bridegrooms. I would think that these are tried and true, proficient in these spiritual um, vocations that they would only be the ones eligible to be brides and bridegrooms. But if he's saying that mortals can be brides and bridegrooms, I'm going to check that video out after I do after this one.
No,
But
he didn't say mortals can be, because mortals.
oh,
He said angels, right?
angels, yeah, now that's what I thought.
Essenes, right? Essenes are angels. S, right? After
Yeah,
you drop
yes,
your corporeal body.
yeah, but aren't they untested? Aren't they I mean, aren't they untried? Have they? How can Essenes, which are newborn spirits, how can they elevate to that high a level to be a bride or bridegroom? You know what I'm saying? I
It
mean,
it
how?
it
Because
it doesn't take place automatically. No. You go through training. This is where that book of
yeah,
divinity comes
yeah,
in.
that's
All those years of training, you
yeah.
see, that
Uh,
makes them eligible to become brides and bridegrooms of Creator. Now, when they say, okay, I'm going to become a bride and bridegroom of Creator and do it, then they're eligible for the third resurrection to be taken off the planet.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
You
Uh huh.
see, so it's not an automatic thing. No,
Yeah, that's
it,
what I thought. You know.
it takes a lot of learning here on Earth and a lot of work here on Earth while in the spirit doing that. This is where all our training comes in. This is why we have to uh, learn how to be transporters of heavy materials, nurses, learn how to build ships,
Well,
all that
that's
learning. And
that's
then we go.
that's
And
after
then
we
when we
cross
go up
over.
to, and then when we go to Etheria, we learn more. We just
But
broaden our learning.
what do we learn here? I mean, what do we? I mean, now the we receive the light coming from the Creator, but how? I mean, these other things like what we learned in the first one. What are we like? I don't want to. Um, what's the difference between mortality? Well, angels are spirits, and they have to go through things in order to elevate, just like we do. But all that I see that we can do right now is just believe the light and practice best we can, and walk according to elevated knowledge. That's about we can't learn. We're not learning like any trades like the angels got to learn, are we? Like being able to read vibrations, being able to use colors, being able to transport here and there. Now you said astral projection. I have heard about that. I don't, until now, I just, you know, never really believed it because I've never been able to, I don't know if I've even tried, but I think that my question is, well, do you think that brethren are on um, mortals are on levels where they can I'm talking about on the earth right now in this reality, if they can do things that you learn in the first resurrection? Well, you mentioned astral projection, right? But do you think that they can do things mortals? These, I would say, like extraterrestrial things that we're going to be learning when we go into the spiritual. You're saying that we can do those things now?
I would say some of us can, to a certain extent.
Uh huh.
But what it has to be is the intention has to be not for self. It must be an intention to help another person or people.
Ah. I mean, I've heard of people levitating. What benefit is that to somebody else? I mean, mortals. You probably heard of it too.
Oh yeah,
Levitating. What advantage is it for someone to be able to do that? What, to get their attention so that to listen?
possibly. But then again, too, possibly it's just for them to do in private when they're communing with Creator. During meditation, you get really light and you can levitate.
Wow, man. You know what? I hope that that's what begins to happen to me now that we're in the Cosmic era. And I mean, when I mean Cosmic era, I mean it started in what 1849, but I give a lot more. For me, what gets my attention is Pluto going into Aquarius. It seems to be the start of something. And even though it happened last year, things have been steadily increasing. I don't know if you even know what I'm talking about, Pluto going into Aquarius, but just January, I just find it incredible, man, that I knew that it was going to go into Aquarius in January. It came in last year and swung back out because it works like a pendulum. And then Pluto came back into Aquarius. It's going to stay in there until October of this year, go out for a month, come back in and stay there for like the next 20 years. But when I say like the Cosmic era, I really am referring to like the beginning this year when Pluto went back to Aquarius, meaning there was going to be an increase in the energy of the spiritual. But from what somebody was sharing with me, will also be an increase in the negative energy that was going to come on the world. But I also remember reading in the Oahspe where it talked about a type of spirituality that was going to come back. Did you read the part where it said that we were going to be able to make inanimate objects walk and dance or something like that? Have you ever read that part?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I read that part.
yeah, so I tend to think that. I mean, I had to be honest, man. I'm
That
envious.
that already has been done.
Yeah, but I can't testify to those things.
Have you ever heard of what they call poltergeist?
Wasn't that a movie?
Now, yeah, that was a movie, but there are poltergeist, right? Well, these are spirits that want attention, right? For some
Uh,
reason or other, and they like move objects around,
oh,
right?
I remember that. Yeah.
And maybe they might throw a plate or something might all of a sudden fall off the shelf, like a can or whatever. These are Portuguese trying to get someone's attention. Why? Because have passed from their corporeal body and they're stuck here, don't know where to go. So that's when you go into meditation, contact them, and attempt to bring their Ishar to them, or an Asaph, or someone to take them to where they're supposed to be.
You know, I found that interesting because I was reading, or it might have been the video that I was looking at, where people who cross over, it's like they're given a space to repent, like it says in Revelation, where the Spirit was telling John, the Revelator, that talking about, think Babylon, where he says, I gave her space to repent, but what did it say? It said something in Revelation where he gave her space to repent. And I'm just referring to that space to repent part. And in the spiritual, that there's even opportunity for, I read where there's opportunity for people who have not believed, that when they go into the spiritual, they're given even more opportunity to receive the light, and so that they can, but that's only what it is, a space of time. And if they do not receive the light in that space of time in the spiritual, they just stay the way they are. Have you heard that?
Well, like I say, I'm not really into the Bible, but
No,
people
no, no, no,
that
no, no. This is the Oahspe.
are,
I'm talking about the Oahspe. Well, I
oh,
mentioned that space to repent in the Bible. Yeah, but I mean, it. I just mentioned that to add a spiritual dimension to what I'm
oh,
seeing in the Oahspe, where it says that it's talking about people, say like you're in the beast kingdom, or I say the beast kingdom for the major religions where you're worshiping a man. But say like you cross over and you're in the spirit, you're under a god. I seem to read in the Oahspe where it says that you still have an opportunity to be able to elevate past past second resurrection. But if you don't if the gods decide, if you decide, no, you don't want, it's amazing to me how you can cross over and still not receive the light. But that's what the Oahspe says. It says that there will be people who will be given a space of time, as you will. And then it's like the gods, they give up, man. They say, okay, you don't want it, so you stay the way you are, whatever state that you're in spiritually. Have you
Well,
read?
yeah, I've read that. That's probably, I think, at the end of the Book of Divinity, where those who don't want to become brides and bridegrooms, they just stay around on the earth. And sooner or later, they will either become a false god, or they will go to some false god's kingdom and be one of their slaves.
Yeah. That's how I understand it. Because I read where even when people who are under a deity, they get like amazing powers too. That's what it said. That's what the brother was reading from in the video I was looking at. How they learn things, they learn how to, they go through unless I'm mistaken, that they go through the same process we do up to a point. And, they're pretty powerful people. I'm talking about people who are under cat. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, bro, but I seem to read that people that they will have great power. And I would think to serve the deity that they're under, where they have to learn to be like all the things that you have to learn in order to graduate from the first resurrection. That people have to learn that, the craftsmen, the apprentices, the nurses, and physicians, assistants, and the shipbuilders, and the architectures but they don't have that ability to elevate out of that. And so I'm just asking, just my question was, they after a period of time, it's like they could refuse to elevate. I just find that incredible, man. You never heard that before?
Oh yeah. Like I say, I think that's at the end of the Book of Divinity, where they don't want to become.
I think it is. Yeah.
Where they don't want to become brides and bridegrooms, and they just go their own way. And the gods and the lords, they just let them go, because, like I say, they may or may not fall under the sway of a false god. Oh, there you are. Whoo! Just went out for a second. They may or may not fall under, false gods, or they may become a false god themselves. But sooner or later, when they fall, they're going to have to relearn everything again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually they will become brides and bridegrooms. It'll just take them a lot longer.
Oh,
they
okay.
had the opportunity before, but they passed it up, went their own way, did their own thing, fell, went into hell, got rescued from hell by our brothers and sisters who are for Creator, and then they decide, well, I got to teach the people that I taught wrong. I got to go and teach them right, and then from there they go on to Ethereum.
Yeah.
To make it short, what you might want to read is about Ahura Mazda, or Sitas, who's a fallen god. And then he got rescued from hell, and then it goes all through what he's doing to redeem himself, and then finally goes to Etheria, I guess after Penta on Mars's reign, or maybe just before she comes. something like that. Anyway, during the reign of Fragapati.
I mean, I read that it sounded like, man, you could get cut off if you after all that.
Oh yeah,
You could
it's not you. It's not them cutting you off. It's you
you
cutting yourself
you
off.
off. Yeah. I find that incredible, man. I mean, to be in the spiritual, I mean, how is it that I mean, I posted something in my room where Creator, he said that people will deny him even in heaven. You ever read that?
Oh yeah, and that's basically what these people who don't understand Creator's plan does. It cuts themselves. They cut themselves off from Creator.
I mean, don't you find that amazing, man? You know, how can that be?
Well, they're extremely strong-willed. And again, free will. You can't save somebody who doesn't want to be saved.
Oh, I
If
just
you're
think,
not, if you're in a rowboat and somebody's swimming along, right, and you say, "Hey, if you don't get in this boat, you're going to tire out and drown," and he says, "Oh no, I ain't going to tire out. Uh, God's going to save me," and if you
yeah,
roll off. And he gets tired and
yeah.
drowns. Well, you tried to help him, but you couldn't.
That reminds me of that joke where somebody was that joke where somebody was drowning and the guy came along with a life ring and he said, "No, no, I'm waiting for God to save me." And then somebody came by with a helicopter. He said, "Oh, I'm waiting on God." And then somebody came by with something else. He said, "No, I'm waiting on the Lord," you know. And the guy ended up trying. You know, but I just have a hard time, man, with how you could be in this. I mean, you know, I guess it's just not meant to know right now. Really not important, I guess. But
That's
how you could be in
uh,
the spiritual. You could be in the spiritual, man. And,
that's
you know,
that's basically what it is. They don't want to take responsibility for themselves. They want somebody to save them.
yeah, that sounds like Christianity too.
Yeah. Well, actually, all the false religions have some sort of savior they're waiting on.
Yeah,
Somebody's
yeah,
waiting on Mahdi. Somebody's waiting on Buddha to
yeah,
come back, or
yeah,
and somebody waiting on Jeebus to come
yeah,
back,
yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that. Now, the thing is, if they do come back, they're going to have a whole different tale to tell them, because those that were all those false religions have got to come back and tell them the truth about Creator, such as Anahasaj, Luamong, uh, Osiris, the false, and all of them.
yeah. That's how I understand it.
And
That's
sometime they will be coming back and doing that. And that's
mm,
going to turn the whole tide of everything upside down for
yeah,
those uh, false gods that are on this earth today.
yeah, yeah. Ah, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That's how I understand it. That's the secret. They play on they play on people's fears, and but it's an amazing thing to me that you could be, man, oh man, you could be, makes you wonder about the spiritual, man, how you could be in a changed reality and you still are unable to receive or even want the light of the creator, you know. But so there's a difference between atmospherian and Etherian kings, right? Or are they kind of the same?
Oh yeah. I think I dropped a statement or
Oh
two
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. In the room, yeah, the post.
Yeah, from what Situ said. Satud, he's an eon. And if you bring that post up, that'll show you all what we're going to be learning in Etheria.
So who are and I think you mentioned the Oetans.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? The
Yeah.
Oetans?
I don't even know how to pronounce it. I call them Oetan, which is, but I don't go with too much on how people pronounce this, that, or the other. If the understanding is still right, if we're understanding, we're speaking about the same thing, the pronunciation of the word doesn't affect the thought. Whoops, where'd you go, brother?
I'm sorry, Dave. I went to I went to go to the room and I clicked off of myself. Sorry.
Okay. I was wondering. All of a sudden, you disappeared.
You thought I elevated all of a sudden.
I thought I got elevated too quick.
Oh, okay. Here it is. I didn't share my screen. Hold on. Let me get myself back on here. Okay, there we go. Okay. So what let me see. I'm looking for your post. So can you see the screen?
Oh yeah.
Is this it? The one where you were
talking about Cabalactes.
No, you were talking about Aeon or something?
Yeah, it's under Satud.
Let me see.
I don't know if I can. No, yeah, I think it's up.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Now, I thought that was amazing, man. I mean, matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, that post, it seemed to show that there's more after Etheria.
Oh, yeah.
The highest realm.
Is. A lot more.
Yeah. Whoa. I think this is it right here.
That's Sesthantes. I think it's post down from there or post up from there, one or the other.
I think
because I posted at the same time or the same day.
But yeah, it's like, man, I didn't know that. There's like, I thought the highest was Etheria, the highest realm. But it's even more after that. And it says to hasten to get there.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, what could be, Etheria, that's like, shoot, I can't find it, man. That's not like the highest. Etheria is not like the highest.
I'm thinking more of the line of what C2 was hinting at. Now I may be wrong, but I'm thinking after eons, after you go to these far worlds, right, and get to look at them. You may be invited to join the council that manages all these worlds. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole galaxy. That's a long time coming. But what are we going to do for eternity?
Yeah. Well, the way I understand it right now is, I mean, if you were to ask me, it seems like a path to godhood and nirvana. I'd like to rest in nirvana, man. I would love to do that. I'm not going to be able to find that post. It looks like I can't find it.
Let me
Yeah,
see if I
I
can
don't think I.
find it. I know it's up there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can figure out how in the world to do it. Or maybe I can
Oh, okay.
repost it.
This post right here, I think it was dealing with something else. I won't say what I think it was, but why he posted it. But this is that's another post you're dealing with there. Let's see. But I do remember where you were talking about there was like higher realms than Etheria, and I never, I
Yeah,
never knew that.
it was under the book of Fragapati where they're discuss where Satua Eon is talking with Fragapati, discussing the worlds he passed through and what's going on in this sector
Hmm.
and how long you've been traveling.
Well, I'll leave that for another time. That's really, I mean, that's like icing on the cake. I kind of want to get there first, where I'm, you know, where I'm off of the earth. But
Well, when you can't find something, maybe it's a signal it's not time for it yet.
yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand that. Now, let me turn the subject to the subject of the video and fetalism. What fetals and I I'm gonna do some words here or some verses. You can you hang with me as I just go through some verses? I'm trying to really get a good. I just want to get a really good overstanding on fetalism. For some reason, I'm on the very verge of overstanding it in a way that it can really help my overstanding, and I imagine it'll probably help other brethren too to see the Oahspe differently, or just to learn about the spiritual. So I got some fetal verses up here, Dave. I'm gonna just read through them, and then if you see something where you want to jump in, why don't you feel free? Okay, if that's
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
If that's all right with you.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, yeah, because I think this is gonna be interesting. I was listening to that video that I had, my brother Selaw's video, and he was talking about one of the things he said that jumped out to me about fetals is that, and it was in the spiritual too, how that let's say a brother crosses over. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be rehashing it wrong, but it sounds like a brother is he's crossed over and now he's rehabilitating. And I heard Brother Selah say in the video that he was reading from something. I just forget what it was. It might have even been divinity, and talking about how that spirit is placed with a kinfolk who will be a sort of fetal spirit for the newborn Essian to cross. When he crosses over, he'll be given to someone of kin who is suitable for them to be fetal, to draw from their spirit. But I haven't gotten a good grip on this side of eternity so far as how fetals, their purpose, what they do, how they are, how they affect the ones that they that fetal off of them, or they from somebody, because I think that's what they do here.
Uh, there's two types of fetalism. There are the innocent fetals who are babies that
Uh,
got aborted in or died before they could even speak or anything. And these are the innocent fetals that are taken, back to their kinfolk and fed until they are able to be weaned from fetalism and then go on to learn.
isn't that something? Isn't that something? It's
And
like,
I believe I posted that in I think it was that post Synthantes that you had up there about those type of fetal.
I'm afraid to try to get back to it because it might boot me off again. Let me see. Let me try. Okay. Okay. Can you see this? I'm in the room.
Yeah,
Can you see it?
yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second. If I get booted, I'm coming back, But let me
Okay.
see. Yeah, but let me interject real quick. I like what you just said there. It gave me, it's like I immediately got a thought when you started telling me, and how there are two fetals, and it goes along with what I understood about the fetal, like if it's an abortion or something, it's given to kinfolk who have passed over. And it's kind of like that's one way that kinfolk, from what I read, it said that they are given to kinfolk to fetal, but during the daytime they are taken, and the assaps come and get them, but
Yeah.
they let.
During the nighttime, they are taken to their mortal
Yeah,
kin. During the
yeah,
daytime, they're taken back to Atmospheria and
yeah,
placed with their uh, uh, angelic kin.
yeah, yeah. It's like, but here in this reality, in mortality, if a young Essien sleeps with an old person, the old person takes from their spirit. Does that sound right?
No, that's mortal. If a mortal young child,
Immortal. Yeah, here, if a young, well, they fetal, doesn't an old person take life? Don't they somehow draw off of the young spirit here?
yeah,
If an old person lays with a young spirit,
yeah, no, not a young spirit, a young person.
a young person, yes,
Yeah, mortal,
young
mortal.
mortal, right?
Right, but however, it's a little bit more backwards. Maybe I shouldn't say backwards, but you got spirit and you got mortal. The fetal is a spirit, so it's the energy exchange is opposite.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's yeah. Whereas the older person draws from the young mortal,
Yeah,
right? That
that's
sound
mortal
right?
to mortal. Mortal to mortal, say direct current, right?
So okay. So there's different. There's like a different
Now,
exchange going on.
spirit fetal, right, and human
Yeah,
mortal, right, would be AC or alternating current, right? I'm trying to use these currents as
yeah, yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Difference
yeah.
and
Yeah.
alternate.
Use the common terms to talk about a spiritual truth. Yeah, and
Yeah,
in the spirit. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think this is the post that you were talking about.
Yeah, that's it.
So the
Yeah,
exchange
that's
is,
it right there.
yeah, the exchange. So the exchange is different here. An old person sleeping with a young mortal can draw off of the young mortal's spirit.
Right.
And then in the spiritual, the young Essien can draw off of those who have already from mortals who have passed on from our family. I
The
didn't say
the
it right.
the human the human will give their sustenance to the fetal in spirit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was
Yeah,
trying to say. I just was saying it differently. Isn't
yeah.
that amazing? So where do they replenish that? How do they in the spiritual? How do they replenish that? Like the fetal take or the Essien take from the mortal, the spiritual mortal. But then how's that replenished in the not mortal, but the angel, uh, the kinfolk? How do they what? I mean, how do they replenish what they give to the Essien?
When they eat food, there's two parts to the food.
Ah,
There's
isn't that a
the
miracle?
physical part that feeds the physical body,
Yes,
and
yes.
the spiritual part of that food that feeds
Isn't
the
that
spirit
something?
body.
That's right. Wow, man, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, man. Because I remember reading about that in the Oahspe, about the Ashars were having trouble
Yeah,
with
I
the.
in fact I think it's even in this post. Uh,
Oh,
these
okay,
called vampire fetals, persons who have
absolutely
been
right.
drunkards, gormandizers on the
Yeah,
flesh, food after death, fetal
right.
themselves on mortals, living on the atmosphere of the food taken.
Ah,
See, right there it is.
yep. They feed themselves on or living on their atmosphere. Wow, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. So, but the
Now,
food, the
those are the vampire fetals that will attach to you. Say if you eat meat, right, you'll get a
yeah,
whole bunch of meat eating fetals on you. If you drink to excess, just to get drunk, get high, or whatever,
yeah.
you'll get a bunch of smoking and drinking fetals on you.
Now, now, let me see. I got a question. Like you're saying, if you smoke or what do is it like Jesus Christ said, where the man who is delivered from an unclean spirit and then the spirit comes back and see that he hasn't replaced it with substance and they all the spirit comes back in and he invites all his buddies. Have you ever heard of that parable?
Yeah,
I'm
I
just,
think somebody tried to cast out. What was it?
no,
Oh,
no,
that's
no,
a
not,
long
not
time ago. I read that one, and it's in the Bible.
yeah, I know
It's
what
in
you're
the
talking
Bible,
about.
and it's something about somebody who wasn't a Christian cast out a demon or something like
Yeah.
that. And
He's right.
not only that,
Could
not
do it.
only did that demon come back, they brought about 7 of his buddies back with him, or something like that.
Well, it's two.
I'm
You
not
talk
really
about two
sure
different
exactly
parables.
how
Let me tell
that
you.
worked, but
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. You were close enough, but let me
it's,
bring up the one parable where I think applies to what we're talking about right here. So
yeah, yeah.
you
Go
see the
ahead.
screen, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me bring it up real quick. Finds it swept and garnished, and the last state of that man is worse than the first. King James Version. Okay, Matthew 12. Then he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty. Talking about the unclean spirit. He finds it empty, swept, and garnished. So it's no spiritual food there, or there's no. It's just empty. It's Uzian, I guess. It's empty space, or it's no substance there. If you, I don't know if you can understand what I'm trying to say. It says he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. They therein and dwell there. In the last day, that man is worse than the first. Now, the fetal spirit here, the vampire spirit, is or shoot. Now I forgot my thought, man. Why was I bringing up that parable? It has something to do with something you said about how fetals live in this reality. If you like engage in certain acts, then you say they basically junk you. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, they attach themselves to you and feed off the atmospherian nourishment that you're supposed to be getting from Creator, from the
Now
food the Creator provided.
You just said it. You just said it. They steal the atmosphere off of you, and they give it to themselves.
Exactly.
In the account that I was referring to in the Oahspe, now I understand that the HRs, they were saying, we trying to feed them, but they don't want none of what we giving them.
Yep.
They said we try to give them atmospheric food, but they don't want it, And then
they want fish and worms and whatever.
Yeah. Oh wow, that really helps out, man. That's beautiful. Yeah, the fetal spirit. So here they take what was yours and they give it to themselves, and in the spiritual, you take what they get for a while until you're ready on your own. So it's reverse operation.
Yep.
That's nice. That is really nice, brother. That is really nice. Oh, I wasn't even showing the tab. Didn't even realize I wasn't even showing the tab. I was showing what you had posted there. I think you can see it now.
Yeah.
Let me see. Right there. Yeah, wow, that's an amazing thing, man. That is really something else to know. Hey, Asenaf, where you at? How come you haven't come in yet? Where did you still there? Yeah, so brother, I have to thank you for that, bro. That is great. For some reason, I couldn't get my mind off of wanting to read about that. Understand it. But let me look at the read. Now that I have that understanding, I feel like I don't even need to read anymore verses about. I mean, I can, but that understanding, it really helps me out. Hey, can you see the screen pretty good, Dave? Oh, wait, hold on a second. I'm on the wrong screen. Can you read that pretty good?
Oh, yeah. I just shrink it down just a little bit more. Just a little bit.
Oh, turn it down a little bit?
Down. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So
yeah, that should do it right there. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, so let me see. I'm just going to do a couple of verses. Let me see. These verses are on fetalism. Fetalism, not fetal. I think if I put in fetal, it'll give me a whole bunch. So what I'm going to do is I usually close the video around this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple of verses. And if something come to you, just share it with me. If not, then I'm gonna go ahead and close the video so I can look at that other video that Malachi did. So I'm gonna just go through a couple of verses, see if you get any more inspiration on whatever I'm reading.
If you want, when you close out, I'll put Malachi's link to that on your Facebook
on the screen.
page.
Okay. And matter of fact, let me see. I wanted to try to find it right now so I can put it in the room. I might be able to find it. Hold on a second. Yeah, because
it's something to do with being a bride or being a bridegroom, being a bride of Christ is what it's called. That's
the third
the title.
resurrection or something.
Yeah,
third resurrection.
That's the title of the talk. He did it this morning.
Yeah,
it should be right up there in YouTube videos.
Oh, wait a minute! I know how to do it.
If you're subscribed to Malachi,
do it.
Just go to his videos and yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Here it is right here. Okay, so if anybody's looking at the screen.
That's it
right
there.
It is right here. Yeah.
Right there, second one over.
Yeah. No, tell me how the audio is. I'm just going to be curious. I'm going to play a little bit of it.
Yeah, kick the volume all the way up and hit play.
See. You can't hear it now, can you?
No.
Didn't you just say that?
Yeah, kick it all the way up. The volume on the
just said that.
Oh, I got it.
The video.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Give me your folder in the chat if y'all can see my screen.
Can you hear it okay?
What do we have here?
Yeah. Good.
What do we have here? Oh, wait. What is it we have here, Malachi? Oh, we. Is this the same book? Some false deities have been playing us like puppets, y'all, for millenniums.
Okay, that's a 5-hour video. So I'm gonna go ahead. This is the time that I usually close out about now. This is the time that I usually close out about now. So
it's a long video.
Yeah. Now ASAP is here. When I'm closing the video. Yeah, that's a 5-hour video. So I'm gonna have me a beautiful dessert after I close this. So basically he's gonna be talking about whether we are brides and bridegrooms. And let me see if I can ask you this real quick, Dave. Does he base it off of your spiritual grade?
What Malachi is doing is he's showing people the difference between being a bride of Christ, right, or a bride of Jesus, and being a bride or bridegroom of Creator. Now, he's trying to seeing that their God is male, right? Are you going to become a bride of that male? Is what he's saying. Now, because to me, it don't make sense. That make you something less than a man. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I look at the like it's interchangeable. You know that you're a um, bride is applying to the female and bridegroom. Well, okay, yeah. Well, I can't say that. Yeah, I see that there's a conundrum there. Um,
Now, this is what Brother Malachi pointing out.
right, 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 right. All right. Well, I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna close my room and I'm gonna check that out. So, man, brother, I just can't thank you enough, man, for blessing me with that overstanding. That really helps me out a lot. I've really been stuck on that, how to figure, See, the one thing you said, there are two fetals, and that's one thing that you really helped me to understand. Just to let you know, like with what Cosmin was saying the other day about there were different Jesuses. There was Zarathustra, there was Esu, I think, Esu, and then there was Jesus Christ, and I think he even mentioned one more. And I was stuck in this mindset of like one of everything. You know what I mean? It's like always thinking in that line of thinking, one of this, but like with Jesus Christ, from what Cal was saying the other day was, didn't he? I think he mentioned that there was uh, a historical Jesus and then made up Jesus, which is the one of the Bible. Because I find myself nowadays thinking like how to categorize Jesus Christ. I mean, the one that is the biblical Jesus, I'm trying to understand why he was showing us fallen God customs and then not knowing the historical Jesus Christ, but also thinking that the made this his the Jesus Christ of Constantine. Let me see if I can summarize it better. Just trying to decipher the different same name gods is the overstanding. It clears up a lot of my overstanding um, about. I mean, even with the Oahspe, there's like two Osirises, and there's two Thoths. I think there are even like three Thoths.
There's
And
about three thos.
yeah,
The difference between Osiris and Osir
Osire.
is in the spelling.
Yeah,
Osiri, Osire, he was the true God. The
yeah, right.
Osiris, O Siris, he was the
Oh,
false. So there's Oahspe sometimes use a difference in spelling
yeah, yeah.
from the true and the false.
And you can see the agenda kind of like too of the false gods is to mix up. I mean, to give you mimicry, to you know what I mean, to make to draw off of see because I remember reading man about the false gods and how they were a part of the councils that were the creator had at the creating of the earth, and so they bring a lot of spiritual truth so that but then they attribute it's for the purpose of attributing worship to themselves. And right now, I'm just stuck sometimes in deciphering. You know, like you talked about, you talked about Ethereal gods as opposed to earthborn kings, and that really helped me to decipher reading the Oahspe. I imagine it's the same thing for brethren like me who are new, is learning once you can get it into your mind of how to read it, the Oahspe. Like when you were talking about the gods that got captured and then some got away, and that explains, and they're still here today. And it's hard to see that type of information, when you're starting out, how to decipher like that, how to rightly divide the word like that. That's where I am. But man, oh man, I'm sure making progress. That's for sure.
Well,
So,
I'm
brother,
glad of that, brother.
yeah, man, I'm making progress. I just absolutely, this thing here, man, is this, this turn of events for me spiritually. I just can't get over it, man. I cannot get over it. That we're here, and um, I was Cal. He was saying the other day about, um, I think he was talking about fetal spirits and how they didn't experience like physicality, like being cold or the different sensations that we feel, and they had to come back to experience these things so that, I think he was saying, so that they might elevate as well in their spirit. They have to know these things, but these are things I don't know. For me, I can't say for everybody, but I believe that the Creator, man, He's going to help as I go along. I'm gonna get strong as hell in this word because I'm already day and night in it, and I don't know. What am I saying? I'm just blabbing.
Brother, let me tell you, you're getting strong real fast. You'll be right up there with the four horsemen in no time.
Hey, when you're hungry, man, you gotta eat, man. I just can't imagine. The big thing that trips me out is looking at the Bible and then looking at the Oahspe, you know, and then seeing how the false gods, how they operate, how they gaslight. And let me ask you one more question before I go. Now that brings a question to mind. Why? Help me understand, man. How? You probably won't be able to answer this. How can you be a god and fall? You got to know, man, you cannot prosper. How can you know all that you know? And we read, or in the video that I was looking at, Brother Seelow's video, all that you got to go through, all that you got to know, and you become a god and you still fall? All those things you got to become proficient in, all those years that you must put in to learn what you learn. How can you fall, man? How can you decide you're going to be corrupt? Do you ever think that way?
Yeah. The thing that turns them around to go away from Creator is ego. They think they can do better than Creator can. So they go out and try it. And they fall because Creator knows everything. They don't.
I hope that this ain't a vulgar question, but I think that, let me see, Cal, he was talking the other day about the Nephilim and the that Nephilim and the Rephidim, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I remember it. Yeah.
And do you mean that? I mean, maybe I understood this wrong, but is that story actually? I mean, am I to believe that gods would fall because they wanted to mate with mortal women? I think Enoch talks about it. How the sons of God, they saw the sons of men and they wanted to. Rephaim. Thanks, Nazarene. Am I really to believe that gods would give up what they are, their righteousness, to mate with mortal women? Am I understanding that correctly? That they would fall in order to have women to have relations with? Am I understanding that right, or is there some reason why? Is it really ego that
Uh,
powerful to make you fall from? You know what I mean? I'm trying
yeah,
to.
some false gods fall from ego. I think what Brother Cosmon Cal was trying to show was the difference between the fall in Oahspe and the
Uh,
fall in the Book of Enoch.
oh,
Right, where the sons of God came and laid with the daughters of men, and officially, uh, for lust's sake, uh, uh, disobeyed Creator. That's
wow.
that's what I'm thinking. He's trying to show in the Book of Enoch. Now,
Ah,
whereas in Oahspe it says
the
that
Ihuans.
the some of the angels who were not perfect fell because they didn't understand what procreation was, because they had died as fetals, on
So
their worlds.
would that be the Fetals cohabiting with the Angui? I think it was, or
Yeah,
the
it would be the angels that came down with Sethantes cohabiting with Asu and
yes,
creating children
Asu. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
while
yeah,
they were in the flesh. Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
And the
But they did
Ihu.
this because not because they wanted to, not because out of lust, because they didn't understand. And
Yes,
this is why Creator didn't punish them. In fact, Creator says
they did it because
the Creator says he did them two
of
services.
favor.
They
Yes,
learned about corporality,
yes.
right?
Uh,
And they're raising up those who can be saved, who can understand Creator.
yes. So in their fall, there was a big. There still was a big benefit of
Yes,
Fethus
two
when we
benefits. Yeah,
mingle. We brought a lot of trouble on ourselves, but the fall, and it kind of reminds me what Paul talked about. The fall of the Israelites worked out for the blessing of the world or something like that. Have you ever seen that verse? If their fall be your, hold on, let me show you real quick, okay? Let me. Is that okay with you? Can I
sure,
show
sure.
you? Let's look at this real quick. I find this to be really interesting because it's like he's referring to truth, but I don't know if he. I mean, I know that we have greater information in our day and age, but you can still see glimpses of it going back, even in corrupted literature. Now, if the fall of them be the salvation of the world, King James Version, Romans 11. Now he's putting it. It's like he's talking about the Israelites. He says, "I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall?" Now I'm equating this with the Oahspe story. It says, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is come to the Gentiles. So it sounds like he's referencing the Oahspe. He don't even know it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I think.
yeah. You could
You know,
definitely put it like that.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I think that's why the scriptures are so interesting to me because it seems like the creator, he is using corrupted literature to, it doesn't stop the light from going out, man. Matter of fact, in my mind, it glorifies the creator even more.
Yeah,
That man, he attempts to interject, he gotta interject himself. He gotta take what don't belong to him, man. He won't stop. He he's got it in him, man. He wants to glorify himself. He's got so much ego, man, and like you were saying, and it'll just always be a miracle to me that you see that in our reality where men will they will throw away their character for the short term. You see that all the time in this reality. You see politicians and people in power, and they'll throw it all away for it. I don't know if you followed politics that much or anything. You heard of that guy Robert Menendez?
No, I really don't follow too much
Yeah, hey man, I don't blame you. It's basically the whole
on
thing.
politics.
Yeah,
That's
I don't.
kind of more to the world of Uzians. Uh,
Yeah.
about the only person I listen to politically would be Dr. Shiva Adurai.
Now, why do you listen to him?
Well, he stands for truth, freedom, and health.
Okay.
And I would say his leaning, even politically, would be more towards Oahspe than it would be against it. Even
Oh,
though
really?
he's an Indian person from India.
Uh huh.
He's even running for president, but I know he won't be president because he was born in India.
I see.
Right? I think he knows that too, but he's just trying to get votes away from both whoever's going to be running this year and Biden, I guess, who's president now, who'll probably be running again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
That's amazing, man. The guy could barely say his name.
He did run for Senate in from the state of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a grassroots movement going, and he found out how they stole his votes through those voting machines and weighed votes.
Yeah. Do you think a Fetals should run for office?
Gee, I don't know. I think it says somewhere in Oahspe. I can't point it out right now, but stay away from politics and stuff of the Uzians.
Yeah.
I think it says somewhere about that. So that's what I try to do. I keep myself trying to be separate from them as much as possible.
Asenat said no. I agree with her, man, because you got to sell your soul, man, in order to get to that level. You got to corrupt yourself, and that's like I was saying earlier, man. I just learn off. I look at people. I look at people for the sake of glorifying the Creator. How we can't make it if we how is it that we cannot understand that without the Creator we can't make it, man? And for all these thousands of years, even gods have not learned that we cannot. There are men in the world today who will sacrifice everything for their own survival. That's where we are right now. The Prime Minister of Israel, he is certainly he's a that's one thing that lets me know that the confluence of events with Pluto going into Aquarius, and then the eclipses, the Cosmic era. I look at all these things, and I know that we're living in history, and I perceive that spiritually there's going to be an increase, at least among faith's brethren. I also perceive that the way the Creator does things is He will just bless His people and let the world look on and make them want, through their own free will, to join with the Creator and to seek Him and to let go of their false God. Like you were saying earlier, I think that I see the Creator. Through how He's going to deal with the Fetals, is going to make the people put their false gods in hell. I mean, am I talking right, or What do you
Yeah,
see?
I think you are, because Oahspe makes so much more sense than
Yeah, yeah,
any book that I've ever read. And let me
yeah.
tell you, brother, I read a lot of books. When I was in the Army, I came back with 2 full foot lockers full of stuff on metaphysical, and 2 full foot lockers of paperback books
That's a
on
lot.
everything from Abraham to Zarathustra.
That's a
And
lot of
like I
books.
say, Oahspe got them all beat. Now, the thing is, there are grains of truth in each and every book,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Grains of truth.
yeah,
But with Oahspe, it's you got the treasure right there. You open it up, there it's all there.
yeah,
The treasure. You don't have to go searching for a little pebble of gold in a whole
yeah.
big sandbox.
I think you got to be wired, man, in order to receive to see what you're talking about. You got to be wired. You got to be plugged in, man, because there's no. You're gonna think I'm crazy, man, but I cannot understand how it has set the whole world on fire. And it's been published in the 1800s. It's so easy for me. It's just crazy, man. It keeps me up at night. I can't. I don't hardly sleep, and I love it, man.
Here's a
You know,
conundrum. Here's a conundrum, brother. I've always been a spiritualist, and if I had seen Oahspe, all right, I'd have definitely been looking for that book first, right? Now, here's one. I subscribed when I was, maybe about 15, 16 years old, uh, to a magazine called Fate, right? I don't know if they're still in publication, but you can look them up. And in some of those books, someone said there was ads for Oahspe. Guess what? I read just about every fate book they ever published, and I never at that time saw that ad. How
yeah,
did I not see that ad?
yeah. I got the same story.
Now that tells me I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah,
Or the angels that are guiding me hid it from me, that I needed to
yes,
go through more learning. So when I went
yeah,
through more learning, I studied a little bit of Christianity, a little bit of Buddhism, a little bit of Hinduism, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of Native American spirituality, and a little bit of you might say occult, metaphysical, and witches, warlocks, and whatever. Right? I studied all of that stuff. Ouija boards, automatic writing, automatic speaking, seances, you name it, I studied it. Or I got some information on it. Why? Because Creator wanted me to be well-rounded, so that when he brought me to Oahspe in that bookstore in Sedona, that I have a good background and I would understand exactly what he was saying when I seen it. Now, when I got Oahspe, I opened it up, I read it. I could not stop reading it. I read that whole book within 3 weeks.
you're kidding me.
3 weeks. I read the whole book from the top to the bottom and the glossary
Man, you
in
swallowed that.
3 weeks. I was like a man starving to death, right? I couldn't get enough, right? And then after I stuffed myself with it, right? Then I took it and I read it slower, right?
Yeah.
And then it took me probably about a year and a half,
Hey,
right? But
Don't forget
I
Ace.
went and stuffed myself full of it first, but I got the basics down, and then I went back and got more and more and more and more.
Hey, bro, don't forget Ace and asked question to you in the chat there.
On the Vril and Helena Blavatsky. I think Helena Blavatsky, she was a theophist, if I remember correctly.
What is that?
During the what do they call it? One of the people in the New Age movement. I haven't. I'll have to look that up on the Vril. I don't think I've ever heard of them. Or if I did, I just can't quite remember it.
Helena Blavatsky, I think that, well, let's look at her.
Yeah, go and type it, talk about Vril and Helena Blavatsky so I can see what that's about. Then I can give her try to formulate a good answer.
Vril and Helena Blavatsky. Occult imposter. Let's see. What was the Theosophical Society? Theosophical Society. Well-known intellectuals associated with the Theosophical Society. Okay. Theosophical Society is an organizational body of theosophy, an esoteric view, new religious movement. It was founded in New York City in 1875. Among its founders were Helena Blavatsky, a Russian mystic and principal thinker. Okay, theosophy movement. So it's definitely an offshoot of the spiritualism cosmic era. It says the most famous first president of it, Henry Steele Olcott. Okay, but let's see what the meat is. What's it all about? Hey, Asenath, why don't you come in the room and share with us? Why don't you come in the room and share what you know about her? Are you there, Asenath? Let me put the link in the room. Make sure that she can have the link. She might not be at her computer. I guess she was some type of spiritualist.
Yeah.
And, the internet is anti anything spiritual, really. Oh,
Now
she's
that's why when something comes out that says fraud or this that, I take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
because
me too.
I've had psychic experiences myself. I've had visions. I went in the astral. I learned a lot of this stuff from those books. So they can't be all fraudulent.
Well, we were taught.
If they were fraudulent, then there's no way I could learn what I know now.
See, that's why I turned the corner on spirituality, because I was taught, not to, that was going to send me to hell, all types of spirituality. And then I got into astrology, and that's definitely my gift. I mean, I could see it in people, and it saved my bacon, man, a lot of times, knowing people's vibrations, knowing what women I should be joined with, what that I should stay away from. And it has saved me a lot of trouble, man. And it turned me on to my spiritual side. And the world was busy telling me I'm a witch, I'm going to go to hell. And I can't deny that part of me, man. I perceive now, reading Oahspe, that I'm going to go, an ASAP is going to send me to that university for advanced studies when I cross over. I know at my heart that the purpose is I'm going to have some type of purpose of dealing with, even though it's funny because I'm a misanthrope. I don't even like people. I don't like to be around people other than my people, who I call my people. But other than that, I spend I shun, you know. But anyway, to make a long story short, the world. I'm really disappointed in the world in that sense that the spirit they don't they have this negative towards the spiritual, and it stunts a lot of people's growth to where they're afraid to look into that part of themselves because somebody told them not to.
Yeah,
You know,
that's that
it's,
fear factor.
yeah,
And that ain't right
it ain't
because
right, man.
Creator gave us these gifts,
Yeah,
which we call a psychic, which Oahspe says is suis.
yeah,
Same thing.
hmm
Psychic, suis, psychic, same thing. And you can do all kinds of stuff with this. And it's a vibration that you have to come into, and you got to get rid of that fear factor before you can do any of it.
yeah. You just have to get to a point, man. I mean, or I just had to get to a point that said, look, Yaikwab, you're just gonna have to live according to what you really are. You can't be. You have got to be true to yourself, and then doors of spirituality will open to you whatever you can receive. But you can't get there, man, letting other spirits who can't understand what your gift, what your vibration is, what your, you know, is, and letting them run your life telling you what to do. When you feel you got something inside of you, then you got to believe that's from the creator. He gave it to you to profit off of, man. Not, So I'm in my 60s, man. Just now learning. Hey, you know what? I got to be me, man. I've got to be
Absolutely.
me, man. That's all I can be is me. And it just seemed like it's a little late in the game for me to learn that, but at least I learned it. But absolutely love what the creator is doing, what I believe the creator is doing with me.
Oh,
I mean,
brother, it's
that's what I think
brother.
we're in. Man. We're in the cosmic era. We're allowed to go free now, man. It's like we've all been set free, man. It's like the creator's saying, man, go for it. Be sincere, be truthful, and just go for it and stop putting limits on me. You know, and look where I'm gonna take you. So I don't
Absolutely.
really preach, bro. But you get where I'm coming from.
Absolutely, brother. What that was one of your ashars that gave you that inspiration from
Yeah,
Creator.
yeah. Asenath
And
said,
he said, it's time for you to wake up, brother. Time for you to
yeah,
get out of the Uzzians. Time to
yeah,
separate yourself from them and come over to the Creator side.
yeah. You should have seen how happy I was when I broke free in January. Man, you should have seen how, I mean, on video, I was a brother set free, man. And I knew I was finally, after all these years of deity worship, I was finally free, man. And I know the feeling, you know. Somebody may say, oh, man, that was just your own mind. No, brother, I know what it is to be. You know what? Jesus Christ said, if you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I really know what that means, man. Nobody will ever tell me I don't know what that means. Asenath said she wasn't a fraud. Please look into her. No, I'm not saying that she's a fraud. I don't hardly know about her. Helena Blavatsky. No. One thing I do know is that I live in a reality where they don't want me to know about people who had that spiritual type of spiritual power. See, I changed my mind, man, away from the world over to the creator, man. Jesus Christ said, what do you have that you did not receive? So I look at it that way, man. The world, they really did a number on me. I digress, man. But, Brendan, I'm going to go ahead and close the video so I can look.
Now, wait 1 second. Sister Asenath, no, Helena Blavatsky, she was not a fraud. Absolutely not.
What is a
I
fraud?
hope you don't say that I ever said she was, because anyone psychic or who has suis is not fraudulent. They're doing what Creator told them to do when Creator tells them to do it.
Okay, but Dave, now you make me have a question. What about people who do it for money?
Well, there are some people who do it for money, right? They may have started out becoming, trying to do it to help people out. But then they got a greed factor going, all right?
Ah,
Now, what happens then is sometimes these false gods will take over, right? Attach themselves through that greed factor, right? And then they'll try to turn things upside down, and which they usually do. And if Creator shuts off those gifts, you see, then the uh, the false gods spirit will try to take up the slack, and sometimes make some false predictions that don't come true. You see, and then if it didn't come true, then she's got to be a fraud or he's got to be a fraud. That's what happens,
hmm.
basically.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Man, it's nice in Arizona this time of year. I love Sedonia. I might end up living down there, except for in the summer. Man, you could fry an egg on your head in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, Tucson, you could. Oh yeah, gets up to about 125,
Heck yeah.
and that's
Right
in the
at 10,
shade.
yeah. Right at 10 o'clock in the morning, man. It go from 0 to 100. 10 a.m. in the morning. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close the video. Free will, the only way. Where you been, brother? Let me see. Yeah, Fritz, esoteric knowledge was kept from us, especially with the council falling. You got that right, man. Oh, don't get me started. You right. You so right. Let me see. Then free will, he say, trying to find your name to write correctly. Just tuned in. Trying to find your name to write correctly. Trying to find your name to write correctly. Just tuned in. Oh, okay. Well, we had a hell of a talk, man. Talking about fetals and some other things. And it was an explosion, man. At least for me, it was. Good night. It was an explosion. So anyway, bro, at least you can look to rewind it and check it out. Brethren, thank you for joining me. I'm going to close the video now. And man, oh man, brethren, even though we don't live in the world, we got to pay attention to the situation in the world. It is serious. We're in a serious situation, brethren. I mean, we're here on the earth. I'm praying, hoping that the Creator, He tell us what to do. He intervene. Our shars tell us to do this or do that because we're in a situation now, geopolitically, confluence of events, nations lining up, alliances to get ready to begin hostilities. That's where you brethren live now. So anyway, that's the best I can do for now. Brother Dave, bless you, man. Thank you for helping me and Asanoth and you brethren here in the chat. Until I see you brethren again on video, please, peace be unto all you brethren. Peace be unto you. Shalom.
Peace, love, power, and wisdom to everyone. Bye bye.